It's one of those things that I like to describe to our prospects that really, at the end of the day, nobody gives a shit about backups. They only care about restorability.
That's good.
And when we walk in, what we find is that because the backups themselves aren't the area of focus, is the business running, are things working, the environments aren't monitored properly, they aren't getting off-site properly, or they simply don't have the right strategy around recoverability in an environment. So Chris can tell you some fun stories about what that means. I'll start by saying one of the big challenges that organizations have is that because they've got a immature IT partner or solution in place, that immaturity leads to the lack of oversight as it relates to the backup strategies. So we had a prospect that we started working with recently where they had gone 8 weeks without a successful backup, and nobody in the organization was even aware that that was a problem. We discovered it during our network discovery process, and we were like, oh, look, you have no backups. Did you know that? And they freaked out in the moment because it was the entire business that relied on that data. And it's very common for those kinds of situations to come up.
Well, backups are usually a checkbox. Do we have backups? Yes or no? And most of the time it's yes, whether it's really a yes or it's not a yes. Tom nailed it, that what matters is the ability to recover. So how usable are those backups? And that's the approach that you have to take when you're evaluating the entire environment, is how do I put this environment back together if something bad happens? And then how bad of an event are we prepared to handle with those backups? So yes, we've seen recently situations where a bad actor would be in the network, and it's no longer from a bad actor standpoint, like a smash and grab job. They're not getting in and immediately trying to lock down the environment. They get in and they case the joint. They know they're in, they know that they're undetected, and they learn the lay of the land. And as a part of that, one of their check boxes or items is to figure out what the backup strategy is and how the backups are connected, because usually servers back up to other servers, or servers back up to other storage devices. They figure that out immediately so that they know how to undo that, break it, so that when they delete the data or position themselves or to create the most amount of leverage for a ransom, that they're taking those systems out. So there's acronyms that sometimes people like, some people don't like, RPO, RTO, but what it does is it facilitates conversation towards a strategy, towards recovery point objectives. So at what point in time can we get back to? Is a week okay? Is a day okay? Is an hour okay? That leads to recovery time, RTO. Yeah, recovery time objectives is how much time and how many points can you go back to? And that those are just the starting points for these strategies.